When last we left off, our adventurers had plunged into the depths of Waterdeep Bay in search of clues to help them identify what killed a dragon here. Upon entering this dark cave where the dragon once made its lair, they discovered a horrifying shark-like monster, a pair of them, that attacked them and nearly killed them. But luckily, Gazrakul had a trick up their sleeve. A couple of tricks, really. And was able to escape before the big one got to them. We now rejoin our heroes as they arrive back onto the deck of their boat that they had borrowed. Chalabi looks at all of you. Are you all right?
Mister, it was bad.
We had a bad time. I think we need to regroup.
Yeah, we were not expecting what we found down there. Yeah, that was horrifying on a lot of levels. I think we all owe our thanks to Gazrakul for their quick thinking and getting us out of there.
We're glad that we all survived the process.
Yeah. So, Chalabi, there were some horrific, shark-like creatures down there that trailed this red, flowing flesh, blood. Not sure exactly what it was. Oh, the water around them was thick, slimy almost. Just being in their vicinity was harmful. And they would not stay dead. We kept killing them and they just kept coming back and attacking us. And we couldn't make them stop unless we used bright magic, radiant spells. That seemed to be the only thing that could keep them down. So, we barely managed to get out of there. I think when we go back down there, we need to be significantly better prepared now that we know what we're up against.
Wasn't the only thing. They had this assault on the mine just being next to them.
Have any of you ever heard of a creature like this before?
I don't know. Has Veritas?
Veritas, roll me history.
My strength. Holy shit.
Ooh.
18. You start thinking about the circumstances, and whilst the specifics aren't quite there, you do kind of remember that feeling of almost how the water, how it felt thicker and heavier. And it kind of and you almost have like a distant memory of that. Way back, like some of the earliest memories you have. And it's almost the same feeling that you get when you're in the far realm of this heavy water sort of thing.
Veritas kind of transforms back into the half-elf form. Everyone kind of bit sterner face. I remember something.
Oh,
You remember that feeling in the water? That strange thickness?
right?
Well, it felt like home. Back in the far realm.
What? What?
That seems pretty bad for us, because we're gonna have to go there before this is all through. Things are like that everywhere in the far realm. I don't know, we gotta be prepared.
I don't remember things like that. Those sharks. But in the water, that feeling.
When we were down there, that feeling. Did you guys notice? Was it only near the sharks? Or was it just increasing as we got further in?
Lessened a bit when they died.
Huh.
The influence of the far realm is down there. And we know what and who is from the far realm. Tidying his fist a bit.
If it got better when they died, I mean, we got 2 of them. I don't know how many there are down there, but it was a big one.
I heard the massive thing, but I never saw it. It was too dark.
We did. Rakul and I. It was huge. Vicious. Kept thrashing against the barrier. Maybe we should get going. Maybe we should not be here anymore. Shall we set sail?
Yeah, let's head on back. I know it's kind of hard to remember when we're just out on water, but try and look at it. I don't remember where we are. Is
Is that something I can do? Try to place where in the bay we are?
You can look around and very easily see the lights of Waterdeep. Because on the one side you have endless darkness as you are on a fairly large body of water, and it is now fully night. And on the other side you see the city, all aglow in its lantern light. And the many, many small taverns and dives that dock the docks.
There's no light because on the map it looks like there's walls around on those islands and stuff. Are we outside of that?
No, you are like almost in the middle of the bay.
Okay.
The lights, those lights are mostly kind of like the lights that are like here and here along this wall are mostly focused out to try and guide ships in.
Okay.
How far away from shore are we if we were, like, for example, to walk or swim this distance without a boat?
Without a boat, it'd take you a while. It'd be a long swim.
How long do you think it would take to get to shore with boat?
With boat, you'll be there in like about half an hour.
Hopefully I can finagle my buddy into letting us borrow his ship again.
I mean, we haven't broken it yet.
No, we haven't. Looking over at Gaz.
There's still time.
All right. So you start rowing back to shore. As you start to get close back to the docks, all of your vision starts to kind of get a bit blurry as you notice fog rolling in. And by the time that you actually make it back to the docks and dock your boat, the fog is now thick amongst you.
This is normally normal.
Normal ocean weather.
Is it?
For this time of year, it can be.
I mean, it's not abnormal for the season necessarily, but
You think it's a bit early, but not way outside the realm of possibility.
it's not bizarre, but it is a little bit unusual for so early in the season. So, stay on your guard.
Will do.
I mean, we're at the docks. What kind of person does sneaky stuff in docks anyway?
Could I have a group perception check?
You'd be surprised, Bosch. Oh no, I forgot to refresh my.
Did too.
Well,
Oh,
Well,
no.
That's what I get for it.
Ugh, got
That's
an
what happens when
18.
don't refresh it.
Yeah, I got an 18 the first time, but it didn't go through. Let's hope it's good the second time.
Hey,
It's the same!
18.
Amazing.
Thank God.
Obviously, all of you are a bit on edge, kind of glancing about. And Eve, you notice a little ways up the dock, you see 3 shadowy figures gliding through this gloom. Not literally gliding, but moving so smoothly.
In which direction?
Moving into the city.
So away from us.
Correct.
Eve holds out an arm and kind of grabs everyone's clothes who are nearest to her, tugs on them, tries to point out the figures as quietly as possible.
Is that not normal?
It's certainly suspicious. They move like they're trying to be unseen. It's odd timing with this fog rolling in. That concerns me.
That stuff is about to happen. Almost forget to do this.
Want to take a few actions. So Eve, you get a 3rd level spell slot back.
Thank you.
I don't know if we have time for me to do this over and over, but I'm going to
You could have
use all
done this on
3.
the boat.
Okay. Cool. So that one's for Veritas. Oh, sorry, Veritas. You get the 1st level. And
I already have a
Gazrakul-
first level.
Oh, sorry. Gazrakul, you get a 3rd level back.
Oh, that's gonna be real helpful. Thank you.
Veritas will use the Pearl of Power to get back a 3rd level.
Well, there you go.
I don't think we'd be fighting again today, but just in case.
Hopefully not, but as wounded as we are, I'm not sure if this is a smart idea, but I feel like as some of the few people who know what's going on, should we keep an eye out in case this is related to you-know-who? Should we try and monitor this?
If we don't, bad stuff will probably happen.
Or even if we do, but let's keep an eye out.
Right. Are we trying to tail them?
Apparently?
Well, if you were trying to tail them... I would like someone to either roll a perception check or a survival check to lead and track. I guess it would be a survival check for tracking,
Yeah.
as you have spoken for a little bit on deciding on whether or not to go.
We're tracking Bosch can attempt. It's more tuned to nature-y tracking, but here we are.
And I will say that you would have
Ooh.
advantage because people are helping you.
Okay, let's hope the second one's better.
Oh,
That's
There we go.
better.
Yeah.
For a moment, Bosch almost loses the trail as you're twisting down the paths and alleys of Waterdeep, but one of you is able to point in a different direction and spot the shadows. Now I would like a group stealth check to see if you go unnoticed.
oh boy.
This is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Natural
one.
20.
Mhm.
Holy.
Oh shit.
That actually went really
Mhm.
well. That's like
That
that's a
is
neutral 20 because the natural cancels out the.
that
That's
is
wild.
that is actually correct.
Oh.
Because I count success fails and tally that up and see if you can beat the number of successes. And yeah, nat 1 counts as 2, but nat 20 also counts as 2.
Hell yeah.
Hooray. Thank you, Eve.
These are my streets.
Although
You're
they
welcome.
do still need to see how well they're paying attention. Mm-hmm.
Oh god, if this is Cass and Nix and someone, we're fucked.
You continue to follow these 3 shadowy figures as they zoom and dip and dive through the alleys and streets. They do not seem to be changing their course. So either they haven't noticed, or they don't care. Eventually, the figures stop. They stop in an alley and just stand there.
Do I know this area? Is this alley a dead end? Is what's around this area?
No, the alley does have a way through. You do hear what sounds to be like talking happening.
But it's too far.
Would you get close enough to eavesdrop?
No. I'm gonna cast Clairvoyance. With that 3rd level spell slot I got back. I think. Hang on, let me reconsider this real quick. If they have true sight, though, that's potentially really bad.
How far away are we from this conversation taking place?
Well, I would assume that you would stop at, like, the entranceway to this alleyway. So I'd call it 20 to 30 feet.
Okay. Veritas uses Detect Thoughts.
Ooh, nice.
Detect thoughts. There are 3 individuals, and right off the bat you sense 4.
Ooh.
Where do I sense the 4th figure?
I don't think you actually get that.
Do it. Not specifically.
I don't think
Right.
you get direction, but you do know that there is one more person than you can see.
Okay.
I think the spell just says you can detect more intelligence. I don't think it gives you a direction. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I feel like this has come up in one of my games.
Yeah, and I can only listen or hear the thoughts of a person or a creature that I can see within range. So, before trying to eavesdrop, silently, Eve, you hear in your head, "Don't freak out, but there's a 4th figure that I detect. I don't know where."
Oh, shite. That's really not a good sign. I was just thinking I might use the conch of listening to try and listen in. But if any of them can see invisible things, that could potentially get us caught.
I'll try and listen to the thoughts. They can't see that.
Good call.
And I would relay the message that there's a fourth individual to the rest of the party.
And rules thinking. The last part of detect thoughts does say once you detect an invisible creature, you can read its thoughts for the duration as described above, even if you can't see it.
So you can listen to their thoughts.
Just in case that influences your decision, Nick.
You just don't know where they are necessarily.
Right.
That's a good point. Yes. Because there is a fourth figure that he doesn't know. I think that's more of a pressing concern. So, going to get surface thoughts.
Alright. The surface thoughts you get are, of course he doesn't want to meet me in person and just sends his lackeys.
Okay. There, and then he would switch to the one that's like muttering in front, or like that's in front of the alleyway, visible.
All right. I wonder if those people that followed us are gonna ambush us or what? Are they with her?
Uh-oh.
Eve. The guy chatting in front knows we're here.
Oh, shite, really?
He's thinking that we're gonna ambush him. And the invisible person is talking about, are they just gonna send their lackeys to talk?
Okay. That's not good. I don't know if you hear voices when you're in someone's head or just ideas. Did they sound familiar at all?
I mean, I guess like getting like some inner monologue. The one that's invisible sounds feminine, and the person that you can see sounded masculine.
The invisible person sounded female. The one in front sounded like male.
Invisible female is not good. That's concerning. Okay. Let everyone else know that we've been noticed. But the fact that he's just idly wondering if we're gonna ambush them is good, I guess.
You all watch as one of the three figures pulls open a pouch and hands a letter over to thin air, where it disappears. And they all start to leave the alley.
The way they came or the other way?
Yeah, the way they came.
Uh-oh.
Back up, we gotta go.
Move. As begin to move out of the way.
Sure.
You all take cover in various locations to avoid the figures as they begin to leave. Do any of you try to get a better glimpse of who they are, or just hiding?
Hiding with the mind reading still going.
Eve might peek around the corner.
They know we're here anyway. Or at least one of them does.
If you would like to peek, roll a perception check.
Not good.
All right. As for the mind reading, Veritas, you get they must have been here to watch over her. That's about it. One thing you do notice, being a relatively active psychic person, right off the bat, you notice this person actually has a very disciplined mind.
Okay. Not a lot of thoughts leaking out.
Yeah. Like, this is a person that has experience dealing with psychics. Which is uncommon.
Question.
Answer.
If you have a spell that's not one that is often upcast, like, can you upcast any spell even if it doesn't have a benefit to upcasting it if you're out of that
Yes.
level of spell slot?
You can, in fact, do that.
I should have done this earlier.
Hmm?
I'll cast the invisibility
There you go.
quietly.
Alright. You
And peek back into the alleyway.
You cast See Invisibility, and you look and see the person invisible reading a letter in their hands. Well, they look a little something like this.
Oh shit.
You instantly recognize this person, being a Water Davian, as Laurel Silverhand, the Open Lord of Waterdeep.
What the fuck?
Eve, you hear in your head. The guy was muttering. They must have been with her.
Veritas, that's Laurel Silverhand. The invisible person. That's the Open Lord of Waterdeep in there. What the fuck? What is she doing? Who is she trying to meet with?
I don't know, but they seem used to psychics. This one's mind was different.
Different. Oh, gods. Okay, these are two very interesting leads. I feel like we should know who she's trying to meet with. This is potentially very sketchy. But they know we're here. They have experience with psychics. Following them would probably be dangerous.
Oh god. hear alarming things happen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Eve looks around at everyone and, like, gestures in those two directions. And raises her eyebrows like, what we do.
Do you look back in the alley?
Yeah.
No, she's not there anymore.
Oh, fuck.
What's dangerous? You hear a voice behind you?
Oh. Turns around.
You see Laurel Silverhand looking at you.
Does a low bow.
Lady Silverhand?
I don't normally appreciate people spying on me.
Apologies, we weren't here to spy upon you in particular. There were just some very shady individuals.
Do the rest of us see her, or just Eve?
Yes, she has broken her invisibility for this.
I mean, they were shady looking to us. You see three people kind of drifting through the fog with purpose like that.
Yeah.
We were concerned.
There is a particular faction that has been doing dangerous things in this area that we are trying to keep an eye upon.
So
I
this very
see.
water deep and all?
Isn't there always? So, a few concerned citizens have felt themselves to spy upon the open lord.
Once again, our deepest apologies, my lady. That was not our intention. We had absolutely no inclination of an idea that you yourself would be here.
Okay.
I mean, as long as you're here, I've heard about some bad stuff happening around town. I don't know if you've got a minute.
I suppose I could spare a minute. You all seem much more interesting than my day-to-day. Also, you all look a bit hurt. Are you all alright?
Well, that is subjective, I suppose, but this is the result of trying to deal with one of the dangerous factions that we mentioned. Potentially. Oh dear, where should we start?
Could I have everyone roll an insight check?
Oh, yeah.
Group insight check.
Yeah, this is weird. This is
Insight.
definitely weird.
12.
I mean, I guess even with all of you rolling like around 10, this person, who is probably the most important noble of the city, is just kind of talking to all of you.
Would you like us to set up an appointment for an audience? So that you are not standing in the middle of an alleyway consulting with strange individuals.
Oh, right, someone might see me. And she snaps her fingers, and immediately you can see that the fineries on her kind of grow dim and, less elegant, and her robe turns into a dirty traveler's cloak. There, we should be able to talk a bit more freely if someone should come upon us.
People don't normally get audiences with Laurel Silverhand, like, ever, do they?
No.
Eve
Is
starts
my mind
coughing
reading
up
still
blood.
up?
Is your what?
Is my
Detect
mind
thoughts.
reading still up?
Oh yeah, your detect thoughts is up. And
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to roll a spellcasting ability check.
Okay.
Natural
How's that?
20. Natural 20. Alright, okay, I see you. When she disappeared from sight, from Eve's sight, you lost her on your detect thoughts for a moment, even though she was right behind you. But now kind of refocusing, you're kind of seeing that she is very proficient at magic, especially hiding herself. But you're able to kind of sink into it, and you're able to get a few thoughts that bubble up to the surface. Nothing like as deep as the inner monologue you had heard earlier, but more just ideas that yes, lasers. But you get the idea that she saw Eve and saw something that has intrigued her. She's intrigued by Eve.
Also, Nick BRB.
I see.
Sorry, Max. I missed that. Had to take a phone call.
Gotcha. All right. What you got from surface level thoughts is that she is intrigued by Eve, and that is what drawed her to all of you.
Eve, already being a little skeeved out by this whole interaction, has started coughing and wiping at the blood that's still kind of coming out of her mouth.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Apologies, we took quite a beating, I think. I think I am not really in the best shape to be having this conversation right now. It would have to be quite a long one.
Let me take a look, and she is going to attempt to touch you.
Eve backs up a step.
Veritas, there is like in his mind, like talking to you, Eve. I think this is the real Silver Hand.
You think so?
She's interested in you particularly. I can sense it. I don't know why or for what reason.
But please don't. No need to concern yourself with this.
It is of no trouble whatsoever. Please.
I mean, do we start explaining with today, or if we're going back to the beginning, it's going to be at Neverwinter, all of us meeting, but that's kind of a long story.
She kind of she gets a frown when you say Neverwinter.
A short summary.
It
Or we could just
sounds
talk
it sounds as though you've all had a particularly long adventure. I dare say an alleyway is not the proper place for such a conversation. Come, I think that there is a tavern nearby.
wasn't aware that you frequented establishments in the area. I would imagine that you would draw a bit of a crowd.
Well, you don't when you dress as everyone else.
Oh, all right. Well, then lead the way, my lady.
All right.
Not the audience we expected, but the one that we'll get.
Mm-hmm. What is your passive perception, Eve?
Me? 14.
14. She beat it with a 15. You feel a pat on your back as you heal for 9 points.
Oh, shit.
Oh, thank you.
It really is no trouble. The rest of you see that pat on the back and see a slight silver glow to it.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, she guides you through some of the streets, and eventually you actually find yourselves all at a familiar place. The Yawning Portal.
Mm.
And
Better than like the classics, I guess.
the Yawning Portal just attracts all the interesting characters.
Is the yawning portal... Taverns are generally safe-ish places because they're public and, you know, there are lots of people around and stuff doesn't go too badly in there usually. Is that the case for the Yawning Portal as well, or is it...
That is absolutely the case for the Yawning Portal. The Yawning Portal, very specifically, is a tavern for adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one. I don't think I have a good bar, unless it's a different bar. We are not at that bar.
Only bar for us.
That's supposed to be this one.
Oof.
I really don't have good bar music, I'm now realizing. What's this one like?
Peaceful.
It's peaceful, serene. Not quite bar music, though.
No, it's not.
While you're looking for bar music, did Miss Stool say that she was going to talk with Silverhand at all, or did she not promise that she would do that and was just like, yeah, leave her alone?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Sorry, did Miss Stool originally tell us that she would talk to Silverhand about the things that we've discussed, or was that not on the table?
I'm trying to remember.
I thought that she would
I feel like she...
She
Wait a
said
minute.
for sure that Laryl Silverhand was like the most secure person in the city, and it wouldn't make any sense to try to increase security.
Which clearly is not the case, because here she is walking around by herself, even though she's very strong and all.
Yeah, that does tell you something, though. That no one knows that she does that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she did because what it ended up being was, okay, she wouldn't. There's no need to tell Laurel about this, but the current black staff let them know what's up.
Yeah, I think what you got was a letter of reference to the Blackstaff Tower to let them know. And I think you guys had a conversation about going to get a appointment with Silverhand and realizing that that might be hard to do. And that you may try to do it through the Blackstaff if you could.
There was mention of like waiting months for an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we should also hit up the black stuff tower at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where are we? Do we find a nice private booth or?
Just in the middle of the open.
Laurel is able to find a booth for all of you to sit down at.
Okay. So we've got quite a lot of news of import that could potentially be very dangerous information in the wrong hands. Do you think that this is a safe space to speak? Magically, even?
If you're worried about someone listening on us, I don't believe that they are magically, at least.
Okay. Alright. Where to begin? I guess the first place to start would be she mentioned that she might try to get some of this news to you. Have you spoken with Nistul at all?
With Nestul? No, I have not. Not recently, anyway.
Okay, starting from square one. Got it. Okay. Have you heard the name Stilhavity at all recently?
Watching her face very closely.
A long time ago, I did.
Oh? How long are we talking? This did start a little while ago, but I don't know if it would count as a long time.
If memory recalls, I believe it was about 20 or so years ago.
In this reality or another.
She kind of looks at you a bit funny at that. In this one?
Okay, we've been through some very strange things, suffice to say.
I can tell.
Mm-hmm. So, Stilhavity. I'm unsure how familiar you are with him, but he was banished from this plane in the past. But unfortunately, he has been seeking ways to undo that banishment and return. And unfortunately, he has been having far more success than one would imagine he would. To get to the important bits, he currently has his sights set upon this very city. And something very important to his plan, apparently, is getting a hold of the Blackstaff. This is not just hearsay, mind you. we have actually seen him and had unfortunate encounters with some of those who are under his command.
Yes.
He gestures around at everyone else in case anyone has things to add.
Kind of the reason we're looking messed up. Is today we were looking into friendly Zelopharn is missing.
Xelathon is missing?
Look like she recognizes his name?
Yes.
And went out to try to find where he lives, and let's say there's some bad stuff under the water right now.
It reeks of the far realm, the place that Still Havity hails from.
I see.
We're pretty sure he got killed. Sorry.
I never knew the dragon. I just knew that they had taken residence in the bay.
Does she look surprised about any of what we're saying?
Insight. Not really. Surprise is the wrong word. You don't think she already knew this information, but this information is hitting her and she's processing it, and she's perturbed that there is something in the bay, but that seems to be about it.
So didn't get that sense of perturbed from the talk about Still Havity?
You got
Specifically
this.
just from the bay?
You got the sense that she's holding off on having a reaction to that until she knows more about what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You get the sense that this person has spoken with a lot of people that have talked to them about the world ending.
Mm.
Possibly have even been that person a couple of times.
There's more stuff. There's a couple of really dangerous characters came up here. They're apparently not from this world. They're kind of interested in meeting Still Havity. Name of Cass and Nyx.
They were called Dreadlords, and they have a very strong fixation on murdering you, particularly.
Yes.
A lot do.
When
Cass kind of wants to eat your soul, apparently.
I don't get that quite as often.
When I first encountered these figures, this Cass figure spoke with me briefly, trying to gain information that I did not want to give, but unfortunately she ripped some directly from my thoughts and remarked that, oh, in this reality, Laurel Silverhand is still alive. That means that I get to enjoy consuming her soul again. Have you ever heard of echoes, my lady?
A concept theorized, but I'm not sure if it's been fully fleshed out. Haven't exactly kept up with magical studies lately.
I don't suppose you would believe us if we said that we had seen direct evidence of it, as we recently, some of us anyway, have been transported to a different reality with different versions of the people that we know here, yourself included, Miss Dool included. Some of us included. A reality in which Waterdeep itself had been razed to the ground by Stillhavity.
That is concerning.
We witnessed his banishment there, performed by yourself, Miss Dool, and one other powerful mage. We witnessed your use of soulfire to banish him. In case this lends to our credibility whatsoever. For this reason, he has a particular grudge against you and the others involved in his banishment. Which may be why he's targeting this city now and is here somewhere as we speak.
That is concerning.
We believe that he's trying to get the dragon's soul as a means to entry within the barrier of Waterdeep. And in particularly his blood, we've seen it turn inanimate objects into creatures, mindless, devouring. We have an idea that he might try to turn the statues of Waterdeep into monsters like that.
I know this is a lot that we're throwing at you seemingly out of the blue, but we would not be raving of all of these crazy sounding occurrences to the open Lord of Waterdeep without cause. Everything that we've told you is 100% genuine, and we have every bit of evidence to believe all of it.
I know. And I believe you fully. And you said that I was at the center of ritual to banish him?
Yes. Which was successful at the time. Due to the casting of multiple great spells at once.
Eve, when you're talking about the ritual, how much of it are you thinking about?
She right now is trying very hard to recall the specific spells that were cast. She's kind of racking her brain for the specific details of the spells at the moment. Oh no.
Gotcha. Did you at any point think about the fact that she died at the end of it?
Probably when she first told her about the ritual.
Okay.
And she probably followed that up with a thought of what the most delicate way to mention that part to her would be. And decided, once I've given her the details, I'll give her that unfortunate information.
Well, unfortunately, I do not know how to perform this ritual, so I think we're at a bit of a disadvantage to approach it that way.
Okay, I'm not really the magic guy, but I don't know that we need to do the ritual here. We were kind of supposed to want to get rid of him forever. We have to go where he is. It's a whole separate thing. I don't think you even have to be involved. But right now we're kind of worried about making sure he doesn't make it here.
Right, that is true. Yes, that is our current objective, so the ritual might not even be necessary in the first place, but still Habity likely is still under the assumption that that is our goal. And we do not want to put him on the trail of realizing that we are actually actively hunting his head, so to speak.
I mean, getting rid of Cass and Nix, it's like a goal that we can work on for the here and now. Especially if we've got your help kind of involved.
They are extremely powerful in their own right. We had a brief encounter with them within this city as well, and barely made it out with our lives. The last time that we sighted them, they were...
It was in the field ward, right, Max? Or was it, like, just next to the field ward?
Last time you encountered Cass and Nix was in the North Ward.
The North Ward. Eve would describe exactly the area of the North Ward, and if she could remember the layout, the specific building that they were in as well.
The old troll skull.
Yes, that's the one.
I can have a detail go and investigate. But if you would discover them there and they do not wish to be spotted, likely have moved already.
Possible, although I do not know if they consider us threats at all. And to be honest, Cass at least seems the type to revel in shedding as much blood as she can.
Fair.
Might want to
But
check
even
it
a
out.
dreadlord would be afraid of a whole city of adventurers.
They had some spooky stuff there. Even if they're long gone, might make sense to go check it out. It's kind of ghost thingies that were also attacking us.
Yeah. Very spooky.
So this particular particular dreadlord has an affinity with undead.
It seems like it. She actually...
Eve considers this carefully for a moment before she speaks, taking a pause, weighing whether to give this information or not.
What information do you think about?
The fact that she seems to be associated with Vecna. But she does decide upon it.
She seemed to have a particular alignment with Vecna, actually.
A lot of forces moving all at once.
Indeed.
Damn.
We are trying our best to kill this before it truly becomes a catastrophe.
Yes. Especially after seeing what could happen to this place. No matter the forces at work here, this is my home, and I will not see it brought low like this. No matter the cost.
She kind of gives a smile at that. Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
I'm not sure how much we can rely on, hopefully, but indeed.
At some point, we're going to need to kill Stilhavity. Kind of like Veritas gripping his hands together. And to do that, we need to get to the far plane, his realm, to do it.
Heath reaches out a hand and pats Veritas on the arm.
Yes.
Getting a little ahead of ourselves, but when we get to that point, the help getting over that hurdle would be appreciated.
Actually, it was mentioned that in order to dispense with the threat of Stilhavity entirely, that we would need to do so with the power of Soulfire. So, when the time comes, that aid would not only be deeply appreciated, but perhaps even necessary to protect all of Faerun. But
I see.
But a word of warning on that front. This would likely be a different application of that power than the one that we witnessed at the ritual. But when that great spell was cast by you, a spell more powerful than any seen on Toril for who knows how long, the strain was so great that, well, you sacrificed your life to make that banishment happen. Again, I do not know if that level of power would be necessary in this different application, but it is something to be aware of, regardless, and to take into consideration.
I see. Well, hopefully none of this has to be done. It sounds as though it can be avoided if we simply keep the Blackstaff out of his hands.
Respectfully, my lady, keeping the Blackstaff out of his hands is only a temporary solution. You've not seen the hatred in his eyes. He will never stop until he finds his way back here. If the Blackstaff isn't available for him to do that, he will find another way. There is only one way to end this threat. Hoping for the best is not a luxury we can afford. We've seen what will happen if we are complacent.
There is a difference between being complacent and being suicidal. Traveling to what you're describing's seat of power, that would be a death sentence.
Eve's ears prick up at this,
We never mentioned the phrase seat of his power to her, did we?
You probably thought of it, though, when thinking about the process of killing him.
Definitely been thinking it, but have specifically not stated it. So that's Eve's eyebrows furrow a little bit at that.
Oh, right. I was doing so well up until then.
So
Have you?
it's
Eve
all fair
scoots her
game,
chair back a
Eve.
little bit.
I needed to
Yeah.
make sure you weren't lying.
What?
To be fair, I did that as well.
I know.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, I guess. Oh my god, so I'm getting really tired of having people floating around in my brain.
I didn't dive deep, just surface level to tell if you were lying to me or not.
Fair enough.
It gets very uncomfortable when you do that.
Yeah, I know. That's what Cass did to me.
But believe me, your words have reached me and I have heard that this is a serious threat to the city.
Okay.
Do you already have a way of meeting with the Black Staff?
Not yet. We were going to be seeking one as soon as we could. Though appointments apparently take quite a bit.
Did we not receive a letter from Miss Stewart?
You have a letter of
Oh, did we?
recommendation. You have a letter
Oh,
of
shit.
recommendation.
Rewind.
We have a letter of recommendation, so we were gonna, try and use that to get in to see her as soon as possible.
I see. And when do you plan on doing this?
Honestly, things have been a little bit crazy since we've gotten here, but if all goes well, maybe we could attempt to do so tomorrow or the day after.
Glances
I
at
see.
everyone else.
I think the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Then, to make sure everything goes smoothly, I will let her know to expect you.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. And thank
Don't
you
thank
for...
me yet.
Well, regardless, we appreciate the time that you've taken out of your day to hear us on all of this. I know the circumstances of our meeting were not ideal, but I'm glad that we happened to run into you.
I am too. Although I do have one question for you, one that I wasn't able to have answered.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to be unaware of it. What you seek in me. But I can see it within you. A small spark.
Spark? Of...
Yes. Of what I have. Of soulfire.
Eve's face goes blank for a second.
In me. But that doesn't... Only daughters of Mistra have access to that ability, or so the legend goes. Is
Not
that...
not actually. We are merely the most public figures. There are plenty who have been Mistress chosen simply through their connection with the weave. But yours is different. Normally, when it is given, you have it, the flame. But yours isn't there yet. I was curious, so it brought me to you.
Wow, I guess that kind of potentially makes sense. To answer your curiosity would be a strange and kind of long story in its own right, but I can attempt to give you the abridged version if you'd like.
If you would like to speak it. If you don't wish to speak it, I could take it with your permission.
I'm still kind of processing it all, so maybe talking it through again will help.
Very well.
I recently learned that, well, I'm a bit of an odd case. So, I'm not from here, from this reality, originally. The alternate place that we mentioned seeing, the one where Waterdeep was brought low. Apparently that's where my origins lie. There, Nistool, she had a daughter. That daughter's name was Amaranth.
Kind of raises an eyebrow at that, recognizing the name.
I know, right? This Amaranth was a figure who looked much like myself, though human. But when Waterdeep was attacked by Stillhavity, she was apprenticed to the Blackstaff, and she fell in the attack on the tower. But her soul, I suppose the Blackstaffs have a unique situation in which their souls are kept within an area within the Blackstaff or somewhere else entirely, but somewhere where they remain to train the future generations.
Glances at Laurel to see if this was something that she was aware of.
Insight.
Okay. Oof.
Hard to read.
So Amaranth's soul wound up there as one of the last people to touch the Blackstaff. Apparently, Nistool tried to bring her back, but couldn't, and instead wound up reincarnating this odd hodgepodge of remnants of Amaranth's soul and potentially remnants of other Blackstaff souls. And I guess that was me. So, while I had no idea of this power of soulfire that apparently there's some spark within me of. Perhaps it was originally the spark of a different Blackstaff that just wound up having a part of them drawn into. Gestures at herself.
I'm not sure about that. Unless the Blackstaffs were different for you, none of the Blackstaffs here were Mistress Chosen.
Really?
No.
Then why?
Eve suddenly remembers something. Back when Amaranth had been talking to Eve in Blackstaff Tower, she thanked her for a donation.
Lady Silverhand, you say that this soulfire you see is not there yet. Are you certain that it hasn't reached that strength yet? Or could it be that it was once there but has been taken away? Would I have been aware if I'd had it at full power?
You would have.
Oh. Okay. Oh, strange.
Roll an intelligence saving throw.
Rolling like shit.
I would say Bosch can also attempt this roll.
Okay, interesting. An intelligence saving throw, you said.
Yes.
You got this.
Oh boy.
With my +0. Let's go.
You know,
Oh!
well,
Oh,
Makes sense.
classic Bosch.
Alright.
Cassandra has
News for
probably
me.
misremembered something.
Not quite miss, more like omitting,
Oh no.
forgetting.
Well, yeah, that sounds like me.
But yes, all the Blackstaffs here were never Mistress Chosen.
I see. That is... Then I do not know.
Although, I suppose one of them could have been in your universe, timeline.
Oh,
Well, don't know what the true differences are between our worlds.
that is true.
Tell me, did it start with Caliban?
It did.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And preceded by, and she starts going through the list of Blackstaffs that there have been here in Waterdeep. And it all matches up, all the way up till Vajra Safar.
Eve nods to confirm each one.
And you had said that... And you had said that Amaranth had died in the attack. Did Vajra?
Yes.
She did, right, Max?
She did?
Yes.
Unfortunately, she too fell.
And that was the last Black Staff.
Apparently, Amaranth had been the last one to hold the Black Staff, and thus wound up being the last one, technically, from what I recall.
I see.
I can't say much because I wasn't there.
It's not Eve's fault. Cassandra has a terrible memory.
I'm seriously racking my brain for what did Bosch forget that could be relevant here.
Range.
Interesting.
Black stuff is important.
Yes. Although,
It's
I never did ask. What is it about? Why was the Black Staff important?
isn't it the key that holds him?
Yeah.
The voice change in the middle of it. It's you said it was the key that holds him in the banishment. If he gets it, he'll be free to roam outside of the prison that
Yes.
was constructed for him.
Correct, and also, it is one of the few things that has the power to end him, I think.
Right? Didn't it say that we needed the Black Staff in the seat of his power?
Nope, just said that you needed the Soulfire in the Sea of
Okay,
Power.
okay, never mind.
But you definitely need the Black Staff for something else.
For banishing him?
Correct.
Yes, it was necessary for the banishment ritual as well.
Who was wielding it?
You were.
Right, wasn't she?
She was.
Now I'm questioning everything.
Uh-huh.
Which would mean that other me was the last one.
Ah, right. I suppose she would be.
Which would put Soulfire in the staff. Interesting.
Wait. Does that mean that you would have been among the souls in there that got parts of them stitched together to make me?
If
But that
everything
might
you
have
told me
been-
is accurate,
Oh,
it
Oh,
would certainly
dear.
it would certainly explain it, although definitely only a piece, since just a small spark might be the only part of me.
huh.
Yeah.
I feel like I should apologize.
There is no need, it is not your fault, and at that point, honestly, a different person than I am.
Right.
You said it was an emperor. Any idea of how Eve can unlock it?
Well, it's never needed unlocking before.
It is a gift of Mistra, is it not?
Yes, it typically is.
Ah,
But ever since, well, ever since 50 years ago when the spell plague was happening, it's been difficult to communicate with her.
Right.
And if you don't need to activate it, then how do you use it? That even makes sense to ask.
Well, it just sort of flows up. It's connected to a feeling.
What kind of feeling?
That is difficult to describe.
Lovely or cold?
No. Almost a feeling of control, of serenity. But on the verge of becoming chaos. A fine line, if you will. I have, of course, been told by others that it feels a little bit different.
Interesting.
Does it get easier with practice?
It just comes naturally.
Maybe I should start doing some meditations.
Maybe. To be honest, who knows what might spark it? It truly is an unheard of thing.
It's referred to as soul fire. Is it found within the soul somehow?
It is tied to the soul.
I wonder. What would happen?
Glances around at everyone.
What would happen if Stillahavity ate a soul that had soul fire tied to it?
Nothing good.
He probably would.
I don't think I'd really want to know that answer.
It would make sense as to why he's, well, been trying to get his hands on mine in particular. Interesting.
And here we thought he was just obsessed with your winning personality.
Har har.
Makes me really glad that you didn't self-sacrifice yourself like that. You have a bad habit of doing it.
She kind of like scratches her bangs in embarrassment.
I
And
bet.
like a pat on your shoulder now.
Yeah, well. You gotta do what you gotta do, but I'm getting better about it. I'm trying not to do that so much. I guess it's definitely for the best that I didn't back then.
It really is. Kind of takes a breath, like a sigh, and looking over at Laurel. I know that you said that it's suicide. They believe that it's suicide to go to the far realm, to his prison. But it's something that... It's not something that we have to do. It's something that we must do.
I do understand that.
All my
Done some
life.
pretty dangerous stuff.
Yes, we have. And all my life, I've been preparing to walk different planes of existence. Or at least for whatever I can remember of my life. Apparently not much of it has been accurate, but perhaps this is something that I've always been meant to do.
While preparation is good, there is nothing that can prepare you for what awaits in the far realm.
So we've heard.
Well, one thing at a time. I will let the Blackstaff know of your arrival tomorrow.
Thank you.
And I suppose of this moment, I hereby hire you in service of Waterdeep to protect it from the threat of Stillhavity.
Oh. Oh dear.
We'll do a damn good job.
Huh?
Cool. Is that going to include doing what we were doing and checking out underneath the bay?
With it being connected to Stillhavity, it would be appreciated.
Right. We're definitely gonna have to prepare for that better this coming time, as we almost didn't make it out last time.
We need something holy. Those sharks wouldn't die.
Yes. Only bright magic would keep them down, which we have very little of to spare. Only there was some way we could get more.
Oh, Virgil.
Yeah.
Where are you? Kind of looks up at the ceiling. I miss you.
Star had better appreciate all that he's been doing.
A little earlier, you did say something about this being the city of adventurers. You'd be kind of confident in defense and stuff. If something big does go down, do you think people are going to help us out?
It is the city of adventurers for a reason.
They won't go down without a fight.
Roll a persuasion check, Eve.
Okay. Oh my god! Okay, alright, that's decent.
17, alright. Alright. Well, if that is everything that you wish to discuss, I think that it is getting rather late and should probably head off to bed.
Of course. We thank you again for listening.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention.
And I realize that this may be unnecessary as you are incredibly powerful, but please be careful.
Of course.
Bye-bye! Complete voice change.
Goodbye.
About the
And-
whole skulking, but good to meet you.
I take no offense. And Lady Silverhand will leave.
He watches her until she leaves the building. And then looks at everyone else.
Well, that was both very fortunate and opportune, and also kind of unsettling. Was anyone else getting weird vibes from that conversation? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being
Yeah.
paranoid.
I mean, like, Stool seemed to think that she was always behind, guards and lots of magical wards and stuff. But she was just kind of wandering around.
Yeah.
I mean, she handled us pretty well, but I don't know.
If Cass and Nyx got her on a stroll like that, that's nice to be bad.
Yes. It's still concerning to me that when we met her, she was meeting with shady figures in an alleyway who were apparently representatives of someone who didn't want to meet with her.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. I wonder what that was about.
I don't know. Are we right to trust her with all that information?
We're going to need resources, ways to get to the far realm, and the proper equipment to face Stilhavity. If we don't do this, we were bound for failure.
And hope I wasn't going too far, but I much asked her for help, getting there. But I figure when you got somebody in the room who has the power that she does, you ask for stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a good call, Bosch. I was kind of hoping that she would offer some assistance of her own volition, but she didn't seem like she was about to do that.
Well, get some people off the street to, or reminding you to wear either tinfoil helmet.
Yeah,
It's hard to trust him at first.
that's
These
true.
steps.
True, although she did have a window directly into my brain to make sure that I was telling the truth.
Yeah. I mean, she's pretty sure that you think you're telling the truth.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if somebody looked into your memories, you think they'd think you were normal?
If they did, they'd be very mistaken. Well, whether it was for better or for worse, we've made sure that she's aware of what's going on. And we, I guess, now have her blessing for going about dealing with these threats. So I think that's a good amount of progress.
First, we need rest.
Yes, we do. Yeah, that too.
I'm not doing that great, but oh, we had that opportunity.
As a side note, be sure to tabulate what we believe our expenses will be as we go along.
Oh,
What about infinite restaurant food, Eve?
Ah, right, I can do that.
I mean, glancing back at Gazrakul, she did say that she was hiring us, so that implies that
She
it's
Indeed.
didn't
not volunteer work.
mention pay.
She did mention it, but hiring does kind of imply that. Although that's really not high on my list of priorities. If
And,
we don't succeed, I don't think that coin will really have any meaning.
I don't think it'll matter either way.
Yeah.
I didn't mention the whole thing about Zentrum being kind of down. Figured you might not appreciate that. It was real cool. But, it sounds like they might check out that safe house, and in which case they might kind of make that connection.
We're not worried. As it turns out, since we're not local to the area, there shouldn't be much in our way specifically. And if they happen to take care of some would-be rivals, then that's more power to us, one could say.
Yeah, that safe house was in the faction that you're not a fan of, wasn't it?
That seems to be the situation. So if the city blunders into some of Manchun's fools, then that makes our job that much easier.
I think at this point there's no one left for them to blunder into there. And if anyone tried to come back, they'd get a face full of Dreadlord, assuming that they're still present there. But yes,
Big scary.
As
Yeah.
long as there is still one clone alive, it will attract people willing to lower themselves to its level.
No matter what, even if it's a really like bad clone.
They're all bad clones, Veritas. Not one shard of that mad monstrosity is worth preserving.
And we know that there's at least one other Zentrum in the city.
right.
Looking at Gazrakul.
Which means
Yeah.
that we'll have to be careful if the Zentrum have been hunted down. Your presence here is known now, isn't it? Since you spoke with that contact.
Our presence is known indeed to this Brigandaire operative, but if they don't share it, then it stays between us and that organization.
Didn't you mention that these were information brokers? Do you really think that they're just gonna keep that on the down low? Out of honor?
No. Honor is not something seen in the trade, but we haven't been here long enough, nor do they know who we are to make that information worth much. You need a buyer to make what you have worth selling.
Alright, well, we'll keep an eye out just in case. Don't want anyone sniping you while you're here.
We'll keep all 6 eyes out.
No,
Good.
remind me, what did those guys want? They want us to meet, but besides that,
We want to meet with them to trade the information that you all have on Stillhavity for other information that could be of benefit to us, such as the location of the clone of Manshun that runs the Zentarum here in the city, but we are sure that we could find other information that would be just as useful to the rest of you going forward.
Right. We still have that flute for that one guy.
Right, Charlaxle. So maybe we can get in good with him, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this information exchange idea. It doesn't really sound like a great trade the way it is right now, as our information is extremely sensitive. But we'll
It
see.
is sensitive, but these people aren't necessarily evil. Knowing what we know could save lives, possibly, if only theirs.
They're not evil, but they're profiteers. They sell information to the highest bidder. If that highest bidder has malicious intentions, well, that's not their business, is it? As long as they get the coin for it.
And if that profiteer's motives are benign, then you help someone. Profit is the only worthy motive, the only trustworthy motive in this world. You'll find that people of noble heart, such as yourself, are more the exception than the rule. This is one of those ends justify the means type of situations in our view.
I think you're underestimating people, Azrakul, but if you say so.
And I mean, this is only judging based on a shadow version of him, but Jarlaxle guy seemed like he was doing some good stuff in that other place. Even if he was using it to his advantage, could have sold out those people probably for a lot of benefit, but instead he was defending people, and he brought us to where we needed to go. Maybe he's a good guy. It just doesn't want to seem that way.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, also, when the world ends, you can't really make any profit.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, we are all beat to shite, and it's been a long day, and I think we should call it a night, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for some rest.
Yeah. Might as well grab a room here while we're here, I guess, right?
And some food.
I can take care of that.
Yay. So you all grab some dinner and a room, and I assume you open up into Eve's portion, or just sticking in the rooms.
I'm grabbing the Eve's special kitchen dinner.
Okay.
Plus pancake bar.
The endless conga line of food.
Indeed.
Well, you enjoy your endless pancakes dinner and head off to bed. Is there anything that anyone wants to do before your long rest?
Eve writes everything in her journal as usual and is going to spend a little while before bed trying to meditate and explore those feelings that Laurel Silverhand was talking about,
All
and
right.
see if she can sense anything.
Roll insight. It's easy to get to the chaos part of it, but Serenity, not so much.
Yeah, that tracks.
Too much has been happening, and it meditating for the first time can actually be kind of hard.
Oh yeah, it is. 100%. I can't make my brain stop thinking about things.
I think Veritas would actually try and have a moment with Chelavi.
All right.
I'm assuming
Right.
she's still with Eve.
She would be, but she would be hanging out in the area, so you would be able to easily catch her at some point.
Sister, could I have a moment of your time?
Of course. What do you need?
Kind of like taking a moment, looking at the ground, looking back up. I want to say that I very much appreciate you for being there and sticking by us. And if there was anything that happened to me, I feel that I could trust you, and I'd feel well knowing that you have the rest, everyone's back. As well as our people. I think you would be a good leader as well.
That makes one of us. I greatly appreciate these kind words, but I feel that I am not deserving of them after what I did, and what I didn't do.
I've realized something as well. I've done things as well that maybe I'm not too proud of. Things that I maybe was not in full control of. Maybe some I were. But with this understanding, with the kindness that was shown to me, I realized that it's not the end. It's not these one or two actions that define us. It's what we do with the rest of our life, what we strive to change. And I've realized that our people, they need help. They need someone, a leader. They need someone to guide them. They have been tortured and thrown on this horrible war path from our father. my children included. And this cycle needs to break. And we need to be the ones to do it.
On that, I absolutely agree. Albeit my original idea was much different than yours.
What was your original idea, sister?
Originally, I just wasn't going to have children. But if we can succeed, maybe.
Let's build that future. For our children and our people.
Agreed.
Kind of takes a arm out and kind of does like the over the shoulder like hug.
She returns it.
Yeah. Keep keeping an eye on Eve. She is quite reckless. Even during the cave, she was narrowly sacrificing herself to these abominations of sharks. I had to go in and rescue her.
I wish I had been down there with you.
I know it's tough. Especially knowing your feelings.
Right. Well, it's rather late and we should probably go to bed.
A small chuckle from Veritas. Yes. I've had my fill. It's time for a good nap.
She is already walking away.
It just like one little quib in like psychically to her. We don't have all the time in the world. Maybe let it be known at some point before it's too late. Good night, sister. Walks off.
All right. Any other midnight conversations?
Heading towards bed, Josh is going to kind of sheepishly talk with Tia, like,
No, we've made a separate room for you, and totally makes sense for you to have your own space. For tonight, can I try out your giant pillow?
I suppose we could do that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's just I don't know. Last few days have been hard. A lot of kind of obvious, but haven't been a lot of fun going on.
Right. It's just I had hoped in here in Waterdeep be a more relaxing. You've talked so many times about how great it was here, and tell maybe usually is. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll find a moment at some point. But also, if we can get this all done, I'm certain after still be beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it's a thing, with like with the statues. You're guess there because bad stuff happened. That they're just part of the landscape, and people kind of like them. And I know there's danger of bad things happening in the future too, but time they're just part of the character. Your people keep on living their lives. I don't know. I will like now. Yeah. Gonna lie, I was kind of jealous of the giant pillow.
It is quite comfy. I'm certain that you will enjoy it. Come, we should go to bed. You... Well, you look bad.
Yeah, I'll try not to get on the pillow too much.
Josh is going to lay down. He's going to try to get towards the side and pretty much instantly fall asleep.
Gotcha. I'd like you to make a charisma saving throw, Bosch.
Okay.
Not great. You got this.
Okay, that's great.
Totally.
18. All right.
Oh.
That's one.
That's
Anyone else have anything?
one.
Oh, what do you mean that's fun?
Guys, got any shady shit you want to do?
I mean, I'm not around, am I?
Well, this is the manor. Everyone's kind of bedding down.
Yeah.
Presumably you are somewhere. You don't have to be with anyone else. If you want to just go to bed, you can.
Yes. I'm not sure how I'd want to represent this. But because of last night's tomfuckery, they are going in prepping for dreaming rather than just going to sleep.
I see. What sort of preparations are you making?
That's a great question. Insert some divination-y...
Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, except made of like bones, like the knuckle bones of children or something.
A dream catcher, but
an aesthetic.
evil.
Let's see. Yeah, something.
Man, the blood would have been so good for that Dreamcatcher.
Right? But yeah, they're going in aware that it's going to happen, and they haven't used either of the portents from the current day, so they're just going to burn them both so that they're not... I know there's no like mechanical benefit to just burning those, but they're going to burn them on like small things on the setup for this dream.
Alright.
If there is a dream.
If there is a dream. So you make these preparations to be ready for any dream that may approach you tonight. And I assume you go to sleep?
Yes.
Alright. You all begin your long rest. Gazra, cool. You have a pleasant night's sleep. And everyone wakes up in the morning.
Ah!
Long
That'll
rest.
do.
Long rest.
Long rest.
Right, long rest.
Wow. I don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry.
Congratulations, because I rolled fantastic portent dice for the day.
Hey!
You rolled one fantastic portent dice.
Fuck me, it's happening again.
Choose your favorite.
I want to keep the 19.
Okay. Your other one's an 8.
Oh.
That can still be
Huh.
useful. But, yeah, they wake up, and the world still feels kinda off. Because the way I imagine it is like every morning they do some form of ritual to reach in beyond to like actually like quote unquote roll these portents, and so they can feel when it rolls incorrectly.
Mm-hmm. But yes. You all wake up from your long rest, feeling ready to tackle the day. Gazrakul, once again, something just seems a little bit off. But unfortunately, it is getting late. So I think now is a good place to end for tonight.